morning, Taurus. It's morning here. I don't know what time it is when you're watching this. It is Jen from Tarot Spirit. Sorry yet again for the late readings. Today is my 5th anniversary of starting on YouTube. And it was interesting. I was listening to a podcast that had Deborah Silverman on it, who's an astrologer, therapist. She, oh my God, I'm distracted. All I did was look out the window and I got distracted. She was saying how when you find like something you really love to do, like it's what you want to do when you're, actually I'm going to put that there, what you want to do in your spare time, and it gives you energy. It's your thing, Not everyone finds that their thing or has a specific thing. I mean, I think some people, their thing is like doing different things or traveling or whatever, helping people, and that can come out in many different ways. But she said there will come a point where you'll kind of want to stop. You'll just feel like discouraged or whatever. And she's like, you have to keep going. At that point, you do have to push yourself basically through that part, because it doesn't last. It's like growing pains. And I'm putting some of my words in here too. And then I realized, I hear other people saying they started their channel around this time. And even some of them like 5 years ago. I was curious, and I looked it up for Sagittarius because I'm a Sagittarian, but I felt like it was a message for everyone. So what prompted me 5 years ago today to start a YouTube channel about tarot? Well, first of all, I had been obsessed with tarot since I was in college. It was the first time I ran into it, and I'm 48, so a while. And I've been obsessed with it ever since. It's been a part of my life. And so I already had that obsession. I have another obsession too, which is horses, but they cost much more money. So I'm still trying to figure out how to manifest them back into my life, since I had to put my horse down four years ago. Wow. Over 4 years ago. Anyway, let's get back to the point, Jen. These are very long and rambly and stilted this month, but I'm getting them out. So for Sagittarius astrology, I just Googled August 11th, 2014, and the Leo King was the first one that came up. And he said, this is part quote, part paraphrasing. He said, the universe has shown you the direction. The universe has shown us a direction in our life. And we need to make a decision whether we're going to step through that magical gateway. He said it's a magical gateway. I thought it was so interesting because, I mean, I don't know if tarot cards are magic, but they're like, they kind of, to me, fall into that realm of like cool stuff, fun stuff like that. Really, they're just pieces of paper with pictures on it that we've attached meanings to, but it's still, I think, magical. This came up for someone else, maybe Scorpio. There's a real need to remember, if you have had a dream for a really long time, Taurus, especially if you're a little bit older, or even if you're younger and you lack experience, to realize that, for example, I grew up in a very small town. And there's no way I would probably be able to find a steady clientele here. You know what I mean? Maybe I could. I shouldn't be saying never, but it's a town of like 2,000. It was a town of like 1,500 people growing up. So the chances anyone in this town wanted to have a regular tarot reading, I wasn't going to be able to feed myself. But you have to look at it from a bigger perspective, because with the internet, you can reach, the world literally. Oh, that's going to drive me crazy. I'm sorry. So maybe if there's been something that you have already decided won't work for some reason, revisit it, because it could be that things have changed, technology has changed, the way people are doing things has changed, that it could be possible for you. And even though this astrology is from 5 years ago, I still feel like that magical gateway, an opportunity presenting itself, is there for all of us right now. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. Oh my God, this card, really with you. Getting sick of it. Maybe that's how you feel, that there is like gossip and, yeah, just like backstabbing and gossip and just someone being stubborn, or someone, just people who are always like contrarians even. And the five doesn't have to be something gigantic. It's a minor arcana card, but it's enough that you have to do something about it. So um, I'm sorry that this is the energy. It's like you're just like, oh my God, just someone who just wants to fuss and argue and be difficult. All right, so let's dive into the cards. So let's do the recent past. Eight of Cups. Yeah, you're done with someone or some situation. You're just like, I'm not dealing with this gossipy, mean girls. It doesn't have to be girls, it could be guys. Like, I'm done. And it could definitely be a relationship. Um, but it could be anything. And it doesn't have to be something huge, but there is something that you're walking away from that you felt like you put a lot of time and energy into. And so it was a little hard to do, because you're just like, man, I tried really hard. Why couldn't I make it work? And you couldn't make it work because you can only control yourself, right? We take on so much responsibility for things that we aren't responsible and can't fix. Well, people love to do that. People love to make us responsible for things, but they want all the control, right? But then if it doesn't go wrong, even if they're the ones like pushing you, they're going to be like, hey, it was you who did it, right? So make sure, and we'll see if the Emperor's coming up. That kind of message is the Emperor card, but that's what I'm kind of getting. Like, you need to get away from someone. They're just a drama queen, regardless of their sex. So this came up for another sign too. Damn, I can never remember. So, yeah, you were just done. And this card does say, to persevere, but there are times when it's just like, I mean, look at her. Like, how much more does she have to deal with? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So the eight, this is denial. You felt trapped in the situation. You felt like you had to stay in it. You had to deal with it. And I finally got to the point where you're just like, or you're getting to the point right now where you're just like, this is killing me. Like, this is sucking the soul out of me. I don't have I can't keep doing this. I can't keep being involved in this. Look, they're making her cry. Someone's just like, I want all the knives, and my way's the best way. And um, so if there's been some sort of rift, but I feel like it had to blow up. Like, you had to get away from it. It just wasn't a healthy situation. Someone's in denial about something. Someone just won't see it. And, they're only going to see it. There's only so many times you can kind of try to help someone, or point something out, or finally say something, and then if they're just going to keep doing the same thing, then they want to do the same thing. They don't, I used to get in, I think it's probably my codependent controlling nature, but I would have people come to me. I had this one friend I'm thinking of in particular, and I've known her for 18 years, and She was pretty miserable when I first met her, and I'm a good person to talk to. I'll listen and support you. And I just got to the point a month or two ago, it was pretty recently, where I'm like, you know what? I just realized you love the drama. This is 18 years and you're not sad. This is your default. Like, you enjoy being unhappy and miserable and complaining. And I was just like, you know what? Until you're really, and there's some things she needs, a couple things like she really needs to do. Like, one is stop drinking and so much and whatever. And I had to say, look, I'm here to talk, but I can't hear you complain about this situation anymore. And she got really nasty with me, and that was it. So, we'll see if we can repair it. But I just couldn't anymore. And there are kids involved. I just couldn't. I can't hear it. And I think you like being in it in some ways. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if maybe there's some situation like that going on with some of you. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to distance yourself. Sometimes you need to take like a friend break. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to tell them, but if you need your space, you need to conserve it. Lots of times these people are sucking your energy, and it isn't a conscious thing, but you need your energy for you. What's crowning you? Oh, the Two of Cups. Oh, look at that. Nice glass of wine at sunset. So now this is making me think of that this is oh, look at the cats are even giving each other something. This is a cute deck. I hadn't really worked with it, the Witch's Everyday Witch Tarot, but I really actually am resonating with it. I like it quite a bit. So maybe this is a love relationship. Or that, well, this is actually, let me pay attention to the position. This is like your ideal. So you want this ideal. You want peace and someone you can sit out and watch the sunset with a glass of wine. People that are helping each other. See, versus this. This is, just strife and my way or the highway and maybe criticizing someone else. She was like control. And you're like, no, I want mutual respect and celebration of each other and helping each other. Let's see the near future. I also want to say the near present. Oh, that didn't make sense. Patient. You know what? You've been patient enough. So maybe that's what's happening. You're trying to figure out how to deal. Do I walk away? Or maybe you did walk away, but you got sucked back in. And now you're back where you are, like stuck in this cycle. I love all the cats in this. I'm missing my animals so much. So, this is a tricky card because it's kind of, lots of times I feel like this comes before this Eight of Wands. Eight of Cups. I feel like it should be switched. This is the card where you've done everything right. Say you're growing corn. You've tilled the soil. You make sure it's as healthy soil as you can. You plant the seed. You water it. You keep it safe from pests. Make sure it gets enough. It's in a good location for sunlight. Weed it, whatever. But that corn takes a certain amount of time to grow. And no, you can't sit there and scream at it and get it to grow faster, because that's just that's like this. This is that energy. Grow. I mean, I got this quite a few years ago. I was struggling. My son was having some trouble at school, and I was like, oh my God, I pulled a card and I got this card. And it just occurred to me, it was like, wait a minute. he's a little boy. Like, what are my expectations? There is a certain amount of time it takes for things to happen, for people to get things, for people to figure things out. I mean, it takes what, kids till they're 18 to be an adult, and I even think I'm still trying to be an adult. But so it's like, why, like, managing expectations. But if it's been 3 months and you don't even see a sprout from the corn, it's not going to work. It's not growing. So how do you judge that balance? It's very difficult. Um, it's very difficult. You are coming to a culmination, because we have eights, 7, 2 eights, and a 9. Let's see what these overall cards are. Ooh, the Star, yes. And the 6 of Pentacles. This is going back to what I was saying. You want someone that's like a true partner, someone that where there's give and take and you help each other out and you're on each other's side. It's reminding me of Nako and Medicine for the People song. I am on your side. We are on time. That's the name of the song. I am on your side. I am not drawing a line. This person to me always draws a line in the sand. Only want what is right, what is best for this life. Healing. Yeah. I mean, I feel pretty strongly that there's just a very controlling person in your atmosphere somewhere. And you've been patient enough. And this card is hard, this 8 of Cups, walking away, because I like to use, I probably said this recently because I feel like this card has come up a lot lately for many months, for a lot of the signs, is like a slot machine. If you go gambling, I haven't been that much in my life, but I go with a set amount of money, and I'm a Sagittarian, so I can be very, careless with my money and risky with things, but I'm like, I gotta pay for my mortgage and whatever. So I go with a certain amount of money. And once that money's gone, although I usually win something because I'm a Sagittarius, because I'm lucky. But there have been times where I've blown through my money and I don't go to the ATM. Like, that's my boundary. That's my limit. So it's about boundaries and setting limits. And we don't tend to do that with our hearts as much. It's like we just keep giving and giving, but then just like a slot machine, especially these narcissists, they will give us a little, they give us a little love. They know how to push our buttons back and keep stringing us along. And remember, narcissists are men and women and can show up in any area of your life, not just romantic relationships. We get that little payoff, and then we emotionally keep giving to them, and then it's that cycle of abuse, really. Yeah. So where's your limit? Why do you keep emotionally? Where in your life have you been emotionally giving and giving and giving with very little return? This is about pay back, pay forward, give and take, balance. It's you're not going to have everything perfectly even, but it should be a continuum. Is that what I want to say? A back and forth, a give and take. You got each other's back. And there is healing. You definitely needed to get look at this, for Christ's sakes. I mean, this is really emotionally. So this isn't, I think emotionally you're scarred, you're battered, you're exhausted, you felt trapped and alone. And it's interesting. All of these cards, except for these two, is alone. Well, that one wasn't a lone person. You felt alone. But this is healing. This is dream big. Going for it. It's almost like you've been kind of going back to the magical gateway at the beginning. it's like, don't be afraid to dream big. And so a lot of healing is going to take place, and balance. This is also, the Six of Pentacles is also a card of balance. I also now see this as enjoying the fruits of your rewards. Like, you'll be happy that you should be proud of yourself if you've been able to move through and away from a situation that's as toxic and gossipy and backstabbing as the one that was going on. I just see her like almost like the Nine of Pentacles, like, I'm just enjoying my time in my garden. I'm grounded. Look, I have my own glass of wine for right now, right? Someday I'll have my glass of wine with someone else or at another time, but right now I need my alone time, my healing time, and it's all good. I'm perfectly happy. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great August, and I will see you the next reading. All right, bye, Taurus.